Welcome to the Eddie Donan Show. I'm Eddie Donan, and I'm extremely happy to bring another podcast for you guys. I'm joined today by a very good friend of mine. His name is Blair Barton with Auxiliary Financial. I've actually known Blair for over 15 years. We used to work together. And, well, first and foremost, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Very excited to get on. And I've been following your podcasts. Find them very insightful as one of your clients. And looking forward to contributing.
Cool. And I've actually been on his podcast, so we're going to drop some of those links below. And Blair, tell us exactly what is it that you do?
Yeah, so I'm a Chief Executive Officer at Auxiliary Financial Services, or Oxy.ca as we're kind of known in the industry. And we're one of the first virtual advisories in Canada. We're primarily set in Ontario right now. We just opened up our first office in Alberta, and we're moving into the rest of Canada throughout this year, with Quebec being last. There's just some different compliance things are a little bit different there. So we're going to kind of tackle that one last, even though it's a fantastic market.
Right.
But yeah, we do just about everything. Primarily we work with wealth management and immediate financing agreements. We work with clients. We shop the industry for the best products that are available. So we're a very client-centric firm, less one of those firms that recruit, looking for license numbers. We're focused in on bringing the right people to satisfy as many Canadians as possible.
Yeah, that's good. And I can attest to your service as one of your clients and one of my clients. So we had a professional relationship for a while. But let's actually go back. Before you got into financial planning, I met you. We used to work together selling clothing for men. So that's why he's all well-dressed. I kind of lost it along the way, but he still keeps it. So tell us what you were doing back then. How do we know each other?
So we met at Moore's Clothing for Men in Oshawa almost 17 years ago. And I can't believe it's been that long. I think I was,
even longer than 17. Yeah, right.
This would have been my 18th anniversary. Actually, I was thinking about that the other day, and we're both just young guys. And I think for me, having people like yourself come through, and I was a mentor to a lot of the salespeople that would come through that organization, and you were you with a handful of others that I really embraced, getting to know and help develop. And it's been fantastic to watch you develop your career and the service that you bring. And, hopefully some of the stuff that I, worked with you back then has come out into the service that you provide today.
Well, it's a big background. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, I have multiple properties with you, rental properties, purchases throughout the years. And I can see that the service is there, and the people that I consistently refer you to. So I'm, definitely proud of that.
Man.
As to the second part of your question, transitioning from that business to this one. So just to take you back a little bit, I had actually started with the firm back in 2005, which is the same time that I had started at Moore's. So I was.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. So I'd gotten into it back then. And I don't think I was ready for the commitment. It's early 20s. And I loved what we were doing at Moore's. And it was like family at our team there. And but there's something in the back of my mind. I just wanted to do more. And a big thing that I loved about working at Moore's was helping people at the most important days of their life.
Sure. That's
right. So whether it's a wedding or unfortunately a funeral or that big job interview, or just maintaining the image that the people want to portray of themselves, it meant a lot to me. So going above and beyond in that aspect was something that motivated me every single day. Now, transitioning that into this industry, to coming here and working full time in the industry for quite some time now, I wanted to bring that experience to the financial service industry because I know that that's not happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you focus on the customer. You focus on the client.
Very client-centric.
Yeah.
Our whole organization is client-centric. We have a client-centric sales process. We only engage with clients that come to us through our marketing initiatives that focus on communicating with clients that are qualified and motivated to get things done. So whether it's tax mitigation or they're looking to build estates for their businesses and families, those are the type of clients that we're helping. And we want to make sure that we go through every step of the process with them, that we're satisfying their concerns. And it's really no different other than, obviously a lot more school and a lot more courses and
more to it, I'm
continued education. It's a lot more there's just a lot more of everything.
Yeah.
And a lot more of yourself goes into it. And
Let's see, you're building your brand, your company. But actually, I want to circle back to it. When was the moment that you said, you know what, I'm done in the because you were moving up in the retail world. I remember that. I left and you kept on moving up the ranks. So when did you decide to say, you know what, forget this, I'm gonna go into financial planning full time? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be recognized quite a bit in my previous role there. It's a fantastic company, and I still shop there, and still got great relationships with people there in my family. And I guess I just wanted a bigger challenge, and I think that started back in about 2014. I just was looking at it like I just want to impact lives on a higher level, and I had a great setup at the location I was working at downtown Toronto, King and Yonge, and working with TV shows like Suits and different movies, and I got to meet a lot of celebrities.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I worked with the Canadian Suit Drive, so with John Tavares, I'm a huge hockey fan.
Seeing that on your social media.
Yeah, Rick Campanelli, different celebrity every single year. So it was just so much fun, but I just wanted to do something more and impact it. You can only do so much in retail management as far as keeping the team engaged in what process you want to do, as like a management level person. Right. So getting into the industry, just making that leap, getting recertified, everything like that to get back in, working at a few different firms in some great places. As much as they're great companies, it's a very old mentality, right? That was happening.
So just explain to them, when you jumped from retail to financial planning, you were working for one of these big companies, right?
Yeah, one of the big ones.
It's okay.
No, let's
okay, so you were working for one of those big firms.
Yeah, so one of the big firms, everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
Fantastic company, great people, definitely a good culture that's there. They were going through a lot of changes when I was there. So I think the thing for me that really didn't work out there was the change of leadership. I went through 5 different leadership people.
Oh, wow.
But the main thing that, again, great company, but the main issue that I had was nobody really had a system in place, and things were getting dropped, like, missing signatures or, just little things that would fall off the rails.
I laugh because I remember when you became went full time, I was one of your first clients, and I remember I had to sign the paper like 2-3 times or different forms, and I understood because when I started my career, I didn't have any systems really, right? So I would tell a client, "Hey, can you sign this?" Or I forgot this form, so I could relate to it.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, you know what, you have to get on it more organized. And it wasn't you, it reflected more the back end.
No, exactly. And, and again, like, not to take anything from the people that I was working with because it works for them and blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't help but see that there's a better way and a better opportunity to make this a better process for the client. And again, a comfort level thing. Like, we don't want to be, my first firm is more the stuffy, come to my office, I'm better than you, I'm an advisor, and, do what I say mentality.
Yep.
Or the other aspect of what a lot of companies do what we do will be the guy that shows up at your kitchen table and wants to meet with your whole family and turn off the TV and everything like that. So, that's not what we do.
Dude, I run away from that.
Yeah, exactly. Those are some scary things. But what we try to do is just make everything as comfortable as possible. We have a team organized sales process. So from the first conversation, you'll have a client success director that you'll work with. They'll find the right people for us to talk to. They maintain the relationship with you through the entire process. We have a business development coordinator that will, work with you as far as making sure that all the documentation is being signed off, everything's compliant throughout that process. Then you go through our advanced case coordinator team, and what they do is they work with tax lawyers, accountants, different planners, make sure that we search the entire industry so that we find the right solutions and that there's really you can't go get a second opinion and get a better one because we've already searched the entire industry, which makes us feel really good about what we're doing. And by all means, go get a second opinion. Of
course.
You're not going to beat what we're providing for you. Of
course. That's
right. So to me, it just needed to be better.
Yeah.
Right. And we've done that.
Blair, when did you, Auxiliary I&I for those watching, when did you come up with it? When did you start that up?
So, yeah, great question. So it started, we came up with the concept in, I want to say end of 2019. Right. So that's when we started to put, and I say we, I was working with a great friend who is now our COO, and just wanted to visualize this idea. I'm just like, hey, there's got to be a way to, instead of like desiring this and want this process to be better for our clients, is to build it.
Yeah.
Right. So I couldn't find the environment that I wanted to work in. Mm-hmm. So I made it. And with the help of some fantastic people that are here working with us today, and obviously it's turned into a much bigger thing from from my solarium to to getting into the rest of Canada, and so we just wanted to be able to get into people's home, take that pressure off of them, as well as be more efficient on our own side of our business. So when I first started in the industry, we were literally driving all over Ontario. So I'll be in Niagara Falls one day. My office was in Cobourg, and then
I remember that.
I'm in Ottawa another day, and
Richmond Hill,
North Bay, Richmond Hill. So it's it was just like a ton of driving, and you're having 2 meetings a day, as opposed to now what are we 10:30 in the morning or 11, and I've already had 6 meetings today.
Yeah. It's more efficient,
right?
And you know what? I can say that you work very hard, so congratulations. I think I'm very proud of what you've done.
We've got that in common.
Yeah. And you're a hard worker and you're dedicated, so you go very far with it. So I'm really, really proud and happy to see with what you formed with Auxiliary. It's really, really cool because it's something really from the ground up. There was nothing really there. You didn't take over something. You just built it yourself, and you had ups and downs. You've had a lot of setbacks and a lot of successes, and that's how it rolls. And for a couple of years, 2-3 years that you're into it, it's really, really good. But I really wanted to talk about, like, the majority of people watching, they're watching this because of some sort of real estate related question, right? That's my audience. That's what I do. And at the very core, right, you helped me out a lot because, when I sat down with you, I told you my goal was to invest in real estate. And I really wanted to be disciplined with my savings in order to be able to save up enough down payment in a secure fund that I could take out and then go buy property. So for me, that was really, really helpful. And I really want to see what kind of advice do you have for somebody right now, financial tips starting the year, things that they can do if they have a plan, for example, of saving up for a down payment. And they feel it, but they might not have enough money. But what do you recommend to them?
Well, I mean, there's different ways to go about it. So why don't I since I can't just offer advice to anybody, and my team watches this, they'd give just give it to me because I'm constantly saying don't offer advice out to people until you've done a needs analysis and understand where they're coming from. But if I can touch on let's use a hypothetical client very similar to yourself, that makes great income, doesn't pay themselves as much. They keep a lot of money in the corporation, use a lot of expenses, blah, blah, blah. So what the kind of ideal client that we work with, has $500,000 investable assets, has $100,000 of retained earnings every year to put these kind of plans in place and are motivated to be tax efficient. So a solution that I would use with somebody like yourself with the profile would be, okay, let's take some of those corporate earnings, have the corporation pay for what we call in a IFA, immediate financing agreement, take the lump sum, invest it into a segregated fund, maybe mutual funds, securities, whatever, and pay for that policy over a certain amount of terms. So what are your key earning years and when you want to kind of start to take your foot off the pedal? So for example, let's just use one that we're working with right now is a 10-year pay. We've taken $1 million of their assets. We've invested it. And each year on an anniversary is automatically set up. We'll pay $100,000 into this IFA. They can pull out the majority of that income tax-free. From a third party. So it's like borrowing from a loan from yourself. So you're using yourself as your own bank, and then reinvest that money as a down payment on a property, and then have somebody else pay your mortgage on that property, let the equity grow in that home, pull that equity reinvest, if when you buy your next property. So
rinse and repeat.
Exactly. So these are the kind of clients that we've gotten in front of to kind of become our niche market. And not as many people know about this kind of stuff as they do. We'll post a link to my new podcast, the Better in Business and Wealth podcast. Will be in the link here. I think we go start with that next week. But we'll talk about these kind of things, and we'll have you on as well. And
Sure.
Happy to discuss with any of the people that will watch or clients that you have, or people that watch, to discuss how we can implement something like this for yourself. But that's just kind of an example of what we might do. So we want to keep money in the market. Markets may be down right now, but they're going to bounce back. So if you're taking new money out to reinvest, you're earning on top of that, right? Because you're buying it on sale, right? And then we're reinvesting it, pulling it out on a tax-free opportunity, allows you to reinvest it. You're not tying all your money up into an agreement. You can pull most of it out tax-free. It actually works out to be a lot better.
In my line of business, when I sell houses, and I always tell you, keep on buying more properties, right? That's my pitch. Not only because I'm a salesperson, I'm a realtor, but also I believe in it. I invest. I walk the walk. But whenever I take on a client, I tell them, and I'm touching on this because you said the market was down in your line of work, in our line of work as well, right? Pricing has come down. There's less sales going on. I see this, and a lot of investors see this as an opportunity to get those properties that at a discount, really, that you wouldn't have been able to get a year ago. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for those investors that know what they're doing and they know what the risks associated are. Because real estate is a long-term game. So I don't really entertain a lot of people that want to buy a property this year and sell it next year because the money's just not there. That's what I tell my clients. But what do you tell your clients, for example, right now when they call you, or they might say, well, market's down, or it's not performing as well, or I've lost money? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a lot of conversations like that over the last year, obviously, right? So and fortunately for us, most of our clients are pretty sophisticated, so they understand that the markets are down. There's a lot of different. We can. I need more hands than these to go through the different issues that are affecting the world right now. But what do we tell our clients? Let's invest more. Right. Let's buy on sale. It's like buying Halloween candy on November 1st.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
It's significantly. So let's say on any given day that the market's down 18%, you pull money from, say you pull $500,000 from an equity, you're buying that much percentage on sale, right? So we're telling our people to buy more, right? And that's what I've done. That's what everybody in our company does. Of course, it has to make sense for that individual client. Some people, putting more money isn't realistic or in their best interest, but we'll do a needs analysis to make sure that is specifically what needs to be done.
Well, yeah, I think that's the main difference between a reputable financial planner or somebody that's just going to do it like whatever, right? And same with real estate agents. Like, I pitch buy investment properties, right? Buy pre-construction, buy rental properties, but it's not for everyone. It really isn't.
Yeah.
You need to know the risks, right? You need to be financially secure to invest. You shouldn't be, overextending yourself. You shouldn't be missing any meals because you're investing. It should fit your lifestyle. Only then you can invest. And I think that's important, doing that needs analysis for a client. It's the best thing you can do.
Well, absolutely. Nothing's just like cookie cutter, right? And not to slag.
And that's why you said it. You can't give advice.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have some great relationships with banks. We work with banks. They have fantastic products.
Sure.
Now, the problem with banks for the client is to sit in front of an advisor at the bank. One, they only have bank product to show you. So, as opposed to sitting with somebody like us, who we can go to all the different banks, find specific products and implement them all. But I think the key part of that would be they're more in line with cookie cutter solution, right? So they're looking for the same solution for the next 150 people that are going to walk into the bank that day. Because we all just kind of flock to the bank thinking they know exactly what's going to be best for us. But that's not really the mentality there. It's like, okay, we'll open you up $25 a month on a TFSA, $25 in RSP. You'll come out every week, every month, every biweekly, whatever it is, and you're set. Right? Or they'll give you, for example, if you want to cover off some mortgage insurance, they'll give you mortgage insurance. The issue with that, as much as these banks have fantastic insurance products, they will give you mortgage insurance who makes the bank the beneficiary, not your family.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's
so you try to buy some policies that will obviously take care of any liabilities that you have, and then some a little bit. You don't want to be overinsured, but you definitely don't want to be underinsured.
Correct.
Then the family gets the money. It will pay off the portion to the bank. It will pay off any debts that you could have with any other properties or whatever. And then the rest goes to the family tax-free. So
my understanding from the insurance that the bank sells, because that's one of the key things. Every time you're getting a mortgage, the bank's actually going to try to sell you insurance or offer it to you. I'm not going to use the word try. They're going to offer it to you. The main difference with that insurance is that, first of all, the coverage goes down, right? Because as you're paying into the mortgage every single year, let's say 10 years down the line, you no longer owe $500,000 on the mortgage, you owe $350,000, $380,000. but you're still paying the same amount of money.
Well, it goes up, and
Right.
the value goes down, right, of the policy.
Right.
So as your liability decreases, the payment will go up, and your coverage goes down.
So it's probably better for again, not advice to anybody, but it's probably better in some cases to look at just getting a life insurance policy. Cover you for the whole amount,
right.
Lock into it while you're still younger. At least you're going to be younger now than in 10 years, and pay less and lock it in case something happens. Mortgage is covered. You can pay it off, and you still have extra money. Your family will still have extra money for.
That's a great point. I mean,
incidentals.
and that's the thing with these IFAs that we offer. They're actually hosted inside of an insurance policy.
Right.
Now, your liabilities may not be the number one priority in these IFAs,
No,
so
it's
we can
more-
layer it with different options, right? So we can look at, doing the foundation of what you want to do on the investment side, the tax mitigation side through the IFA, and then layer it, say, with the term insurance that goes, just a little bit more than your liabilities for just a little bit longer than you plan on owning it, because you're probably going to acquire more assets.
Correct.
So you want to keep that level premium through at the time that you're going to own the policy and still maintain what what you've signed up for, right? So if you bought $2.5 million of insurance, you want, when you're done paying for it, you've took advantage of the fact that you're young and healthy at the time of making that purchase. At the end of that, you want to still be paying that. So if you picked a 25-year
Right.
term, in 25 years, you want to be paying that level of premium, whether it's a participating policy or if it's a whole life policy, depending on what your need would be. We want to just layer it, make sure that you're covered off in any aspect there.
So it's going to be my final question without getting into too many details, because I know we can go on this forever. I
Yeah,
like talking
all day,
about this,
me
and
too.
you do as well.
Yeah.
So in
Love
the
it.
interest of time, about a year ago, before the interest rates starting to go up, right? A lot of my clients I referred to you, they would pull equity from their home because the interest was so cheap, and they would invest. Do you still think that's a good strategy, given the fact that right now the average mortgage borrower is going to be around 6%?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean,
I have to ask something tough in here.
yeah, I think
It's too easy the whole time.
It's going to be case by case, right? Yeah, I wouldn't get into that too much without having really looked at the client
their assets
profile a
and
little bit.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's never a bad time to buy, I guess, on the real estate side. I mean, there's been tough times where it's skyrocketed and
Yep.
gone down. I personally, if we're getting into mortgage rates, like what I prefer is, on one property I have a fixed rate and one I have a variable.
Yep.
I'm saving money on the fixed rate right now,
Yep.
and the
Definitely.
variable is going high, but it's also, we can look at decreasing. So I'm comfortable
Yeah.
as a client of what's happening on both sides of that. So I know on one property it's going to be solid. I know exactly what I'm going to be paying. One, it's going to go up, but it's also going to go down.
Yeah. You
Right?
spread it. You kind
Yeah.
of spread it out. with
It's
what
just
you have.
it's part of the investment philosophy that you're signing up for whenever you're looking at investing. So if you're the kind of person that's in the stock market every day and,
Yep.
and like all day checking out this stuff, because
Day trading, yeah, well,
this has become very popular,
yeah.
right? Day trading. If you're looking at that and you're losing your head and breaking windows at your
Yeah.
house
No,
because
dude.
something goes
I
down.
don't know how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. So
It takes a lot.
then maybe what we're looking at isn't right for you.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at every day, it's like, and you're going to call your advisor and be like, what's happening? Why is this down? It's like, this is a long-term game, right?
Yeah.
And what we try to do is build wealth over years, make sure that you pay as little tax as possible, and put your family and business in the best situation.
I used to do that to stress you out. I remember texting you what happened.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then you finally realized I was just joking. I was playing around with it.
I know,
It's fun. It's
like,
fun.
what's with this guy? Just joking.
Well, you know what?
We like to have fun.
Blair's he has a wealth of knowledge in finances and investments. So I encourage you, if you have any questions, to reach out to him. But also, you might not know, this guy's actually a musician.
Oh,
And you play in a band. You're cool. You're so hip. One of those old cool dudes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So one of the old cool dudes. I like that. We'll talk later. No, yeah, absolutely. So I'm still as active as I can be.
Yeah.
I'm actually recording an album right now with a new band. So that's been fun. It's taken a little bit of time. It was interrupted with COVID and membership changes and whatever, but we're back on track with it. Obviously, running a business and having a family takes a lot of time, but
You're so jamming. I see it sometimes.
I'm very good at time management.
Yeah,
So,
good.
Understanding what time should be allotted for what, and,
Good.
Turn off the phone when it's time to deal, with business, turn off your phone when it's time to deal with family, and whatever it is, you want to be fully engaged in kind of that moment, and music's no exception for me. I continue doing it, and I love it.
Well, Blair, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. It's been fun. And again, reach out to Blair with any of your financial questions. His handles are going to be somewhere in the video or in the description. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, I'm always going to be doing the Q&As on a monthly basis. So if you have any real estate related questions or for one of our guests, just reach out and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Thanks again. Till the next one.